Woo! Great morning. Welcome to Triple M. Happy Monday. It's going down one of the last weeks of 2016. I hope it's going well. I'm excited to finish the year strong with all you guys. Excited to get a great Triple M this morning. We got a few people here live. Roxy, but we also have Dakota here from Seattle. He's excited to share his takeaways. He just told me how excited he is. So it's going to be a great time as we're getting the day started and getting the week started. So welcome to the call. We got a very special person for you guys today that's going to be giving our Triple M video. His name is Darren Hardy. So Darren Hardy wrote the book Compound Effect. Great book. You ever get a chance, definitely listen to it or read it. I listened to it on audiobooks. Excellent book. Talks about the power of small, consistent action over time making the hugest difference. So I really like that. But he's also the CEO of Success Magazine, you know, who interviewed people like Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy. So really successful magazine, hence the name, and also the author of a great book. So Darren Hardy is going to be talking about some of the things that can make the biggest difference for you in your life between goals and then manifesting them in reality. And then from there also, what is the power of the compound effect? You know, I heard this story one time and it really always resonates with me. There was a guy that he worked for the post office, United States Post Office, never made more than $14,000 a year. And when he passed away, he was able to leave, I believe, $70 million to the higher education institution of his choice. How did he do that? This man never made more than $14,000 a year. It's because he invested his money consistently and took massive advantage of the compound effect. Compound interest is another form of the compound effect. So compound interest is when you invest something continuously and then the investments start to create more investments and then you're continuously investing and it becomes a massive growth phase of exponential growth. So without further ado, let's get to my man Darren Hardy because this isn't Triple M with Roxy Aubrey. So let's get it. Welcome my man Darren Hardy. Let's go.
Whether you end up driving this. One controlling factor determines whether at the end of a long life you end up lonely, despondent, and broke, or you end up in a marriage of 50 plus years of incredible intimacy and great bliss. Only one thing will determine whether you get to send your children to the greatest universities in the world, or no matter what it is that they qualified for, they can't go because you can't afford it. Only one thing will determine whether you get to donate to your charity to your greatest heart's content, whether you get to travel the world in fantastic luxury. Did you all see the movie City Slickers? Curly said, it all comes down to one thing. Your whole life comes down to one thing. What's the one thing? Circle of champion answer right up front. It all comes down to choices. Right now, as you sit there in your chair, right now, your whole life is nothing but the accumulated compound effect of the choices you've made up to this moment. Right now, your waistline is nothing but the accumulated compound effect of the choices you've made up to this moment. The size of your business, your bank account, the intimacy of the relationships in your life are all just an outcome of the compounded choices you've made up to this point. So if we're going to change the trajectory of your life starting today, starting right now, we've got to go to where the control factor of it all begins, and it all begins with choices. Choices is the first line of code in rewiring your operating system. So let's do it. What choices? Because we're presented with hundreds of choices all day throughout the day. What choices matter the most? Anybody here ever been bitten by an elephant? Well, what about mosquitoes? Anybody ever been bitten by a mosquito? Bill Gates says this is the most deadly animal on the planet for the human species. And it's also one of the smallest. See, nature provides clues. It's the little things in life that will bite you and kill you. So is it true about your choices. When you take a look at the 7 billion people on the planet, a question I'm asked a lot is, we only get to pick 12 people to be on the cover of Success Magazine out of 7 billion. And I'm asked, what do these guys do to become so successful? What separated them from everybody else? Well, let me tell you what they did not do, because this is what everybody thinks they did to get to the cover of Success magazine. Success is not a result of some heroic feats. Nobody you see on the cover of Success magazine did anything heroic. It is not because of some grand act of bravery. You know, you do not leap and hope that the net appears. Don't do that. That ends in calamity. And they didn't perform any quantum leap. It wasn't just right place, right time, as Trump said yesterday. Yes, luck plays a part, but it only plays a part after you've worked your butt off. So it wasn't any grand act of luck either. Success is, if you're looking for the answer of what caused these people to get on the cover of Success magazine, success is a result of small, seemingly insignificant, moment-to-moment choices. The only thing that separates them from you is that accumulated compound effect of those little choices that created dramatic differences in results. Small little choices like at lunch, you're given a menu. And what is the menu? It's just a series of choices, right? Do you pick the hamburger and fries, or do you pick the salad? Now you're thinking, that doesn't seem like that big of a choice. I'm telling you, it is. Small little choices like, at the end of a long, hard day, do you stop by the gym and put in a workout, or do you rush home to catch your favorite sitcom? Small little choices like, in the heat of an argument with your spouse, do you walk out of the room and say, I'm not going to deal with this? Or do you spin on your heels, say you're sorry, and choose to make a moment of magic? Small little choices like, in a networking event, do you walk across the room and introduce yourself to that person? You're a little bit afraid to do so. Or do you hunker down in fear one more time? Small little choices like, at the end of a long day, do you put in a few more phone calls, or do you just simply call it a day? You see, these small choices add up to big, gargantuan differences in results. Let me give you a reference point in which to associate this with. If I were to give you a choice of a single cent, single penny, that doubles every day for 31 days, or €1,000,000 in cash right now, how many people would take the million in euro? Okay, tough crowd. All right. Let me sweeten the offer here a little bit. A single cent that doubles every day for 31 days, or €2,000,000 cash right here today. How many people take the 2,000,000 in euro? Okay, a couple more converts. All right, last offer. Okay, penny that doubles every day for 31 days, or 3,000,000 in euro right now, right here today. How many people take the 3,000,000 in euro? Okay. Well, let's say that you were paying attention and you said, small things add up to big results. I better pick the small thing. There's a clue there. And let's say that you picked the penny, okay? But your neighbor at home picked the 3,000,000 euro in cash. So now we're going to start proceeding in life. We get 5 days down the road, and your measly penny is worth 16 cents, okay? While your neighbor has $3,000,000 in cash, and you can hear the parties going on next door, right? Yeah. When you get 10 days down the road, your penny has become €5.12. Not enough for a Happy Meal at McDonald's, right? But your neighbor is drinking champagne, eating caviar, having Robin Leach over for dinner, right? Now we get 20 days down the road and your penny is still €5,242, and they've got $3,000,000 in cash, €3,000,000 in cash, and partying like a rock star. It's not until we get to day 31 that we see the dramatic outcome of this compounding pity, where your penny is turned into 10,737,000 against their paltry 3,000,000. Now,
there you go. You take the 3,000,000.
What you need to know about this is This is the reason why Einstein called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Because the math between day 1 and day 2 is exactly the same math between day 30 and day 31. Nothing's different. You just see the compound effect of it. And this is why I'm telling you right now this morning, compound choices are the eighth wonder of the success world. Because the same choice you make between day 1 and day 2 is exactly the same simple, small, easy choice at day 30 to day 31. But the outcome of those choices are dramatically different. Let me give you a for instance. Let's take 3 friends. Let's say they all start off exactly the same. 3 ACN representatives are starting off exactly the same. But Scott decides he's going to try some of these things that he learns here this morning. And here's what Scott's going to do. Instead of getting up every morning and reading the newspaper and seeing all the corruption, wars, and crimes and scandals that are happening in the world, he's going to get up and read 10 pages of a nice, good book, something positive, something about success and achievement, just 10 pages. On the way to the office, instead of listening to the radio and hearing more wars, gossip, and conversations about other people, he's going to put in one of those CDs, something positive, something instructional. He's going to cut 125 calories out of his diet. Okay, that's a half a candy bar or small bowl of cereal, meaning he's not going to go on any rash diet. He's going to drink 2 bottles of water a day. He's going to park at the back of the parking lot and walk into the office. He's going to make a few more calls before calling it a day. And he's finally going to make that date night with his wife a priority. Okay? That's all Scott's going to do.
It's a priority, baby.
Now, Larry's just going to keep being Larry and doing exactly what Larry's always done all his life. Brad, and I hope there's no Brads like this in the room, but Brad, here's what all Brad's going to do. He's going to start making a few poor choices, meaning he's going to munch on a little junk food at the office. You know, like a half a handful of chocolate-covered peanut M&Ms. That's it. He's going to miss a couple of workouts a week. He's going to drink more Diet Coke than water. Not good. He's going to move around a little less because he's sitting behind a computer all day. He's going to skip a prospecting call or 2. And he's going to give the cold shoulder to the spouse a couple of times throughout the week. No big deal. Nothing dramatic, right? This is not going to be a Jerry Springer episode. Just a cold shoulder every once in a while. So now if we take these 3 friends and these 3 different behaviors and we chart it out, 5 months down the road, these 3 friends look exactly the same. 10 months down the road, exactly the same. So now Scott's thinking, what's going on? I'm getting up every morning and reading this book and I'm listening to these CDs and I'm doing this date night thing with my wife every week. And my buddies are just sloughing off and we have exactly the same results. You can see why people get frustrated and start giving up because they think it's not working. But let's just say he proceeds a little bit further. 20 months down the road, slight differences, right? Brad's starting to feel it in the belt a little bit, right? You really can't tell, but he can feel it in the belt. At the office, tension and anxiety start to set in. At home, apathy. Now, the neighbors and friends, they don't really see it, but it started to set in. It's not until 27 months later that the differences between these 3 friends are dramatic. Let me show you. So Scott, here's what's happened to Scott 27 months later. He's read 47 books. Now, you know that the average college graduate does not read 3 books the rest of their life. And he's read 47 books the last 27 months on success and achievement, 465 hours, bombarding his mind with success and achievement. Is that going to make a difference to his attitude, to his mindset, to his results? Dramatic. The 125 calories he cut out of his diet meant that he lost 33.5 pounds. Do you realize that we can end obesity in the world if everybody just cut 125 calories off their base diet over time? He drank 3,700 gallons of water. Those 2,000 extra steps a day meant he walked 900 miles the last 27 months, losing another 30 pounds. And those date nights with his wife, that got pretty exciting okay? I had photos, but I decided to just show you the X's and O's. The couple extra calls that he made each workday meant that he made 1,860 extra calls that he wouldn't have made otherwise. If he closed 3% of those, which means he didn't learn anything from those books or audios, he added on top of his previous $50,000 a year income an additional $279,000. And you know what Brad and Larry are saying? Oh, you're just lucky. So here's what Larry is doing. Larry's like most people in the Western world. They're treading water, falling a little bit further behind, becoming disenchanted, bored, apathetic, passionless, disengaged, and then they're blaming the government, right? Here's what Brad's small, simple, poor choices did to him. That 125 calories he added to his diet meant that he put on 33 and a half pounds. Missed a couple of workouts, the Diet Coke, now he's in heart attack danger. Missed a few meetings, made a few less calls. He's about to be fired from his job and lose his home. The inattention and cold shoulder to his spouse means that apathy set in and he's on the brink of divorce. You see, small, seemingly insignificant, positive choices create extraordinary results. Small, poor choices over time create devastating results.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Ooh, my man, Darren Hardy broke it down. That was awesome. So I'm going to share first, and we're going to get Dakota up here. He's taking massive notes. And then hopefully we can get Roxy, too, just to share a little bit. But I'll start first, and I want to get a few shares from you guys that are listening in. But some of the big things that hit me, I really love. If you ever get a chance, definitely listen to his book, because for me, it illuminated why the small things are so important. You know, when he said Einstein, I never heard that quote before, but he said Einstein said compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, because he said nothing has changed. When he gave you that example of the 31 days with the magic penny, you know, day one, the penny just doubles to day two to 2 cents. The other person has $3 million. You know, after 4 days, 16 cents. The other person has $3 million. And you keep going. It's not until day 29 that the penny pulls to within 2.7 million of within the 3 million. Not even there yet. Day 29. Day 30, it surpasses at 5.4 million. Day 31, it goes to 10.8 million. Day 31. That didn't happen till the last second. But nothing changed in the mechanics. It was the same mechanics day by day. It was the combination of compound consistency that made all the difference. And for me, I really just love that, because it's like all the little things matter. He said whether you wind up, you know, living the life of your dreams or living the life of your, nightmares, so to say, is all up to your choices. I really love Super Mario came by this week to our club in downtown LA, and he talked about, where do you want to be at when you pass away? What kind of life do you want to have lived? And it's all, if you're born poor, that's none of your, under your control. But if you die poor, that is under your control. If you die not helping your family, that is under your control. And, it's all a combination of the choice you made. He said you could be at the restaurant and something so small as the choice between the burger and the salad, it does make a difference. And I'm not saying that cheat meals and reward meals aren't all right. I'm not saying that, you have to be super disciplined and never zigzag. But I am saying that all the choices you make on a consistent basis make a difference. I'll tell you guys a story that I didn't understand at the time until I had to hear it a few times. Mayor Rudy Giuliani from New York. He is credited with a lot of the turnaround in New York. My dad's from Brooklyn. He grew up there. He said it was really rough at a time. And Mayor Giuliani came in, and he said that they switched everything to whenever anybody got a little infraction. I'm talking about they were smoking weed on the street, you got a ticket. You were jaywalking, you got a ticket. And in the past, they were like, that would never happen. And he said Mayor Giuliani did that because when you got people to think about the small things, the big things were no matter what. So, for example, say you're in New York and you get a ticket for jaywalking, how much more likely or less likely are you to break into a house? Are you to run a red light? Rather than if you don't get a ticket for the small things, where does the line get drawn? And that's where the fuzziness comes around. So people ask me all the time, they're like, Aubrey, why don't you do this? I'm not saying I don't have reward meals. I do. This weekend I actually had more than I should have. We just got done with our photo shoot. You know, I could blame it on Roxy, but I was a part of it too. But there does come a point in your life where you have to take full advantage and responsibility of the choices you make day by day. And some people call that, you know, a little bit extensive. Some people call it, you know, a little bit fanatic. And then some people call that Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Will Smith, Jay-Z, Oprah. Because I want you guys to think about the people that inspired you in your life. I have the people for me that inspire me. And I know that they didn't get there by doing the average decisions, because if they did, they'd be average. So when it comes to wintertime and it's getting cold and there's a lot of people that take the fourth quarter off, I don't let that stop me from taking the fourth quarter off, because I know that the fourth quarter on or off makes a difference in the next year, which makes a difference in the next 2 years, which makes a difference in the next 5 years. And I try not to ever let the mindset of those around me affect the decisions I make on a consistent basis. And that's really what I took away from this. Don't let the small decisions pass you like they're inconsequential. They're humongous. Because if you make the little decisions in alignment with your goals, the big decisions in alignment with your goals are cake. It's like, yo, am I going to invest this money? Absolutely. I just went to that class. I've just read that book. Yo, am I going to go to this Herbalife training if you're an Herbalife member? Of course. I just had my shake today. I just followed up with my client. Am I going to make this contact at Whole Foods while I'm checking out? Of course. I just went to a training. I'm going to be at Fit Club. It's all these little decisions that make a mountain of impact. I really love that. And then this was a really good one. Nobody gets bitten by an elephant, but you can get bitten by a mosquito. Bill Gates said that was the most dangerous animal in the world. That's right, because they spread malaria, which kills way more people than a lot of other things. So it's not the big things. It's like, I used to have this mentality like, oh, it's this big thing. I'm waiting for this big thing that's going to make me successful or not successful. Did I do the big thing? No, it's all the little things. It's the little things over time. It's not some big heroic feat where you save somebody from the car in the middle of the street. That's not what makes you a hero. What makes you a hero is that Tony Robbins has been helping people for nearly 40 years. Like he didn't take 5 years off. He didn't say, yo, I'm just done this decade. I'll be back next decade. Dude is 55, just rocked a house of 10,000 people when Roxy and I were there. He's 55, been doing it since he was like 20. Like that's consistency. That's why he's changed millions of lives. So not all the little things. It is all the little things, not just the big things. And then he ended out with the story about Brad versus the other guy. All the little decisions. He said the first guy, he said he switched his morning news to morning inspiration. He dropped 125 calories out of his diet every day, like a half a candy bar or a bowl of cereal, or switch it to an Herbalife shake. Holla at your boy. He parked a little farther so he worked more. And he made date night and time with his significant other a priority. And the other person, Brad, just did it. He ate a little bit more. He had a few alcoholic drinks more a week. He didn't make the extra calls at work or the extra prospecting or the extra invites. He didn't spend the quality time with his significant other. And after a few months, it doesn't show. Remember, you don't take the consequences of your actions the day after or right after, like, oh, did that make a difference? It's going to take time for the seed to grow. But he said after 27 months, the change is ridiculous. The first gentleman has read 47 books. He said the average graduate of college only reads 3 books after they graduate. That's ridiculous. He said this guy just read 47 books. That's almost a higher institution degree right there. He said he's lost 33 pounds. He's walked over 900 miles. And he's added over $270,000 of income to his income. That's crazy, on top of his base income. And the other guy, Brad, has done the opposite. He's gained 30 pounds, which means there's a disparity of the other guy. If they started at the same place, the first guy lost 30 pounds. The second guy gained 30 pounds. Now he's 60 pounds heavier than the guy. Like, you got to remember that you're not just in competition where you used to be. You're in competition where you could be as well. He also has issues at his job, on the verge of getting fired because he didn't make those extra calls. And at home, he's on the verge of divorce because he didn't spend that extra time, overtime compound. So amazing stuff, man. I really like this guy and the way he thinks because he keeps me focused during the fourth quarter. We only got about a week left in 2015. That's crazy. This year flew by. So let's get my man Dakota. Let's get some takeaways. What are your takeaways, brother? Come a little closer so they can hear you.
bit by Toby over here.
Let's get it, Toby.
Well, I mean, you pretty much hit it like everything right there, but it's consistency and being patient.
Take my shirt, Toby.
Because, you know, I'm a very impatient person, and I was impatient, you know, when I first started eating my health journey. Like, Mo will tell you, like, I was 3 weeks in and I only lost like 3 pounds, and I was like, I'm going to quit it. And, like, Mo was like, no. And so I stuck with it, and now I'm down 25 pounds. Like, it's just consistency and being patient and knowing that the results will come as long as you continuously put in these small efforts and you know, wait for the reward to come.
There you go. And then what do you see as far as in 2016, something that you're committed to being consistent with and what you want to see from it?
You know, a lot of it is just being, you know, a better person in life. You know, like I said, I've been focused more on personal development recently. So growing my mind and then consistently trying to grow my business too.
There you go. Powerful stuff. Consistent. Find that person. You said Moses said no. He was holding for him. Find that person in your life that'll hold for you and not accept when you want to quit because they can see the higher and better version of yourself. Do you want to share? She's going to share later. Toby, you want to share? Awesome. Anybody else want to share? You guys get any takeaways from there? You guys are all taking the nuggets in. Let's get it. You guys, well, let's have a great Monday. You guys, we've got like 10 days left in 2015. This is the time to make those consistent decisions. Like, don't take the last 10 days of the year off because I want to hold for you. I want you guys to hold for me. Let's push through the last 10 days of the year when everybody else is taking it off. Just like Brad versus the other guy. When other people take it off, when we put it on, we end up twice as far as they could have been. So don't take it off. Small decisions count. Let's make 2016 even better in 2015 and every year better on top of the last year. Let's get it, you guys. I'm going to post the recording, repost it. Thank you guys for being on. Started Monday strong. Get it right. Compound effect. Let's get it, you guys. Peace.